Leon, indeed a tragic day in the history books. In 1994, whatever happened, the world remembers it. The world remembers the Rwandan genocide. Now, can you provide some context on the factors leading up to the Rwandan genocide for those who may not be familiar with the history?
Well, yes, definitely. 7th April is a very important day in Rwanda, but the turbulent times of Rwanda don't just start in 1994 with great history of the suppression of the minority tribe, which was the Tutsi by the Hutus. But around 1970, with the presidency or the leadership of Juvénal Habyarimana, then there was indeed a push on the suppression or the push on the anti-Hutu sentiments and also pro-Tutsi sentiments. That escalated quite extensively until about 1994, actually 6th April 1994, when President Juvénal Habyarimana's plane was gunned down. That was his assassination. The Hutus then accused the Tutsi rebels for that particular attack, and on the 7th of April sparked 100 days of what was a devastating situation in Rwanda. More than close to 1 million people therein being killed in the genocide, in which the Hutu pro-government and also a militia group called the Interahamwe, of course, turned onto the Tutsis. And it was indeed very devastating that neighbors turned onto neighbors, families against families, friends against friends. And this, of course, was such a devastating situation in Rwanda. It took approximately 100 days to bring an end to the genocide, despite the challenges that happened therein. And of course, on 4th July, coming to an end with the Rwanda Patriotic Force, then led by the current president, Paul Kagame, storming into the capital, Kigali, there and kicking out the Hutu government forces, and of course putting calm to the situation that caused much devastation. So briefly, that is the extreme of what the genocide was. It, however, is one kind of history that the Rwandans have quickly or attempting to quickly put behind.
Leon, now, in what ways has Rwanda worked to reconcile and heal from the trauma of the genocide in the years since?
Well, there's indeed been great work put in. The post-genocide government, of course, has put much effort in trying to push the agenda of unity and reconciliation. In the early days there in the national courts, at least by 2006, had tried about 10,000 genocide suspects. There were the national tribunals at the national level, the grassroots level, which was called the gachachas. Very prominent there in trying to raise the levels of reconciliation between those that were suspected genocide attackers or conscriptors or omitters therein against the people that they felt would not have, could bear this kind of situation. So it has been a gradual process of arrival at justice, which for many feel should have been or is the first part of trying to raise reconciliation. And progressively, Rwanda has tried to reconstruct its identity, the gospel of being one people therein. And of course, that raises the issue of the commemoration of the Never Again slogan in Rwanda, the Kwibuka event that is going on today on the 7th of April, which is a commemoration of the events of 1994 therein. But of course, simultaneously now, 30 years down the road, you can tell that there's been quite a great effort in trying to put Rwandans back together, the unity of one nation, and the sentiments therein of the discrimination or xenophobic sentiments are not existing. But even still, there's still a lot of work for the government to do going forward, for the generations to come, for there's still many people that still feel hurt or pained by the events of 1994.
All right, for now, Leon, we leave it there, but thank you so much for your analysis.